Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra on digital address GA0993341. It's broadcasting live on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, proudly Ghanaian. Telesol, just a touch. UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DG Bank, Let's Go, and Makoto Parts Ghana, distributors of Isuzu and Chevy cars. Makoto Parts Ghana with you for the long run. Coming up in this edition, Accra High Court puts a hold on its proceedings in a case filed by former Unibank boss Dr. Kwabena Dufo, asking for an order the central bank gives him back his bank. We'll tell you why as the case is referred to the Chief Justice. Giba executives meeting with Parliament's Communications Committee over the DTT disrupted following exchanges between some members of the committee. We have details also. Who killed the judges? Joy News to release documentary film on the brutal murder of 3 Superior Court justices 36 years ago. We'll tell you what to expect in this edition. And later in the bulletin, South Africa to waive visas for Ghanaian travelers to that country soon.
People from Ghana, from Morocco, from Egypt, we are having negotiations with their countries for reciprocal visa exemptions. Once those have been finalized, we will sign the agreements.
We'll hear from the SA Home Affairs Minister, who is, however, warning it won't be free for entry for the entire year. We have all that and more, plus sports in this edition of the bulletin. I am Emefa Apaudu. Stay for details. In our very first story, an Accra High Court has put on hold its proceedings in a case filed by shareholder of defunct Unibank Ghana Limited, Dr. Kwabena Dufo, seeking to set aside the takeover of the bank by the Consolidated Bank. This follows a request by lawyers of the Bank of Ghana asking for the halt as they've made an application to the Chief Justice for the case to be moved to another division of the High Court. Dr. Dufo is challenging the Bank of Ghana's revocation of Unibank's license, asking for an order that the Bank of Ghana gives him back his bank, according to the statement of claim. Now, Joseph Akable was our man in court. He'll be joining us shortly, as and when we are able to raise him, I would speak to him on the latest happenings there. Meanwhile, speaking of banks, there are mixed reactions by customers following the Bank of Ghana's decision to collapse non-performing microfinance or savings and loans companies in the country. The central bank says it is investigating dealings of these firms to help fish out the bad elements. This move comes after 7 major banks in the country were recently collapsed for operating without appropriate licenses.
I think they should, because most of the times when you say with this savings and loans, you realize later that they are going with your money and you are just frustrated. So I think, even though I believe the government should have looked into it before allowing them to operate, but then the harm has already been caused, so it's good if they want to go into it now and then find out the wrong ones. I'd rather put my money in my susu box. If all these things are going up, you put your money here, tomorrow you can't even have access to it. Even if you want to have access to it, it's a whole lot of trouble. So I think I would rather save in my own susu box.
I believe that we failed as a nation in grooming good banks. And the few ones that we have, I was thinking the government was going to do something to streamline and then invest in them, hold them strong so that they will grow. But rather we are seeing them collapsing every day. To me, it's just a ploy to collapse a lot more banks and render a lot of people jobless. Some people are not doing their work. Instead of them punishing those people at the Bank of Ghana, they are rather descending on these banks. You see, somebody sitting there did not do his or her work well, and that person should be punished.
I think the same thing should be done, because we have so many financial institutions in Ghana now. We don't know which of them are genuine. We don't know what they use our monies for. And we don't know where they keep our monies. And most of the time when we go, we take long to take our monies from the banks or from the savings and loans. So I think the Bank of Ghana should use the same means to clear the chaff from the genuine ones, so that we can all take our monies to the bank.
I think if our banking system and our finance system is okay in the country, people will do much better than to mess with people's monies and actually invest into the wrong things.
Now, in a separate development, Joy business sources close to the International Monetary Fund, that's the IMF, say the $2 billion China Sinohydro deal cannot be classified as a loan. But the Bretton Woods institution's position, however, comes with some conditions. My colleague George Riafe has more in the following report.
The IMF, however, argues it has expressed this preliminary position on this agreement only if movement of funds under the deal is not more than what has been agreed under the IMF program. It argues deferred payment for individual projects could constitute a debt only if they are signed with government's guarantee. The IMF is, however, asking government to ensure that agreements covering the deal are designed in line with government's overall debt strategy to ensure the sustainability, transparency and value for money. The latest development could bring an end to debate about whether the deal is a better arrangement, a loan, and its impact on the rising debt stock, which has reached 159 billion Ghana cedis. The agreement, which was signed between Ghana and the Chinese Sinohydro firm earlier this year, is to help with the construction of some infrastructure projects in the country, and government is expected to repay later with refined bauxite. The fund during its visit also raised issues with revenue mobilization and its impact on the program, whilst linking the city's current performance to external issues. The IMF also wanted the Bank of Ghana to complete its recent cleanup of the banking sector. It is, however, not clear for now whether Ghana has passed those critical requirements that would help the country complete the IMF program come April 2019. The team has been in town since last week to assess Ghana's performance under the program so far.
My colleague George Riafe there. Now let's head back to the Accra High Court. I told you that proceedings was put on hold in a case filed by shareholder of defunct Unibank Ghana Limited, Dr. Kwabena Dufo, seeking to set aside the takeover of the bank by the Consolidated Bank. Now this follows a request by lawyers of the Bank of Ghana asking for the halt as they've made an application to the Chief Justice for the case to be moved to another division of the High Court. Joseph Akable was in court and joins us on the line. So Joseph, what reasons were given by the BOG's legal team for requesting that the case be moved to another commercial court?
MFA Frank Davis, who leads that legal team, told the court that as far as they are concerned, it is the understanding that due to the commercial nature of this case, the appropriate forum for it to be tried should be the special division of the High Court and not the general jurisdiction division that is currently hearing the matter. So they had written to the Chief Justice asking for directions on the matter, so they wanted the court to put hearing on hold till the Chief Justice responds to that letter before they can proceed with it.
So hearings are still on hold as we speak?
Yes, and despite the concerns that were raised by a lawyer Chachuchi Kata, who represents Dr. Dufo, he had rejected the request that lawyer Davis was making, insisting that as far as they are concerned, this is a private letter that lawyers for the BOG had written to the Chief Justice, and per their understanding, nothing legally bars the judge from proceeding to hear the case. Because there's no motion before him stopping him from hearing the case, simply a letter someone has written to the Chief Justice, and they think that it will not serve the best interest of the court if it continues on that leg in allowing people who have written letters to various individuals that bodies on administrative issues to be dealt with. He again argued that as far as he understands the position of the law, there's only one High Court and that it has various divisions, but they all perform the functions of a High Court. So the matter should be heard by the general jurisdiction, but that was not heard, and the court rather opted to put hearing on hold up until October 17.
Joseph Akable, the man in court, will get you details as and when we get it in our subsequent bulletins. Now let's head to Parliament, because Giba Executive's meeting with Parliament's Communications Committee over the DTT has been disrupted following exchanges between some members of the committee. MP for Kumbungu, Ras Mubarak, who is a member, tells Joy News it was an embarrassing spectacle.
We met with Giba this morning, but unfortunately we couldn't do much because the meeting had to end abruptly following some very regrettable spectacle.
When you say regrettable spectacle, what exactly do you mean?
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but clearly what happened today is something that should have never happened, and these are the sort of things that dent on the credibility of Parliament, and we want to protect the institution.
I gather the chairman, Kennedy Japong, and Sam George had very heated exchanges, and that is what led to the abrupt end of the meeting.
What I can say to you is that it was an embarrassing spectacle, but what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
So what the way forward for the meeting now that virtually everybody has dispersed?
We're going to have to meet with leadership of Parliament, and clearly I am of the view that we may have to look at the composition of the committee again, because the Committee on Communications is one of the very important committees of Parliament, looking at the sectors it has oversight on. But clearly with what is happening, I sincerely would not want to be a part of or a member of a committee that can't conduct itself properly, especially in the presence of guests.
Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us on the line. You heard the MP for Kumbungu, Ras Mubarak, a member of the Parliament's Communications Committee. Joseph, you seem to have picked up what actually led to the heated exchange between Chairman Kennedy Japong and member Sam George. Tell us more.
So we gather that in the course of the meeting, a number of issues came up, and some words were used by the chairman of the committee, Kennedy Japong, that MP for Ningo Pampam Samuel George found insulting, and demanded that he withdraws and apologizes for the use of those specific words. The chairman of the committee, Kennedy Japong, insisted he wasn't going to do that, and from what we are told, the whole exchanges virtually got physical to the extent that some members of the committee had to restrain the two of them and avoid any further clashes between the two. Eventually, the meeting was suspended for about 30 minutes, we are told. But a while ago, I saw some of the members of the committee gather around and call in the rest of their colleagues and indicate that they should get back into the committee room for the meeting to resume. So I gather right now that the meeting has since resumed after about a 30-minute suspension.
And all this happened in the presence of the Giber executives?
So we gather that this was happening right when they were getting more details on the petition that Giber executive had taken to them and requesting that they provide more details to substantiate their request that they intervene in the issue having to do with the DTT.
Interesting times. But what else is happening in Parliament? Is day 3 or so, or 4 of the emergency sitting?
So it's actually day 4. Member of Parliament for the Aswanse constituency, Muntaka Mubarak, read a statement raising concerns about the killing of 7 of his constituents in the Ashanti region last month, and indicated that he would want the residents to be calm as government takes steps to resolve the issue, and further demanded that when it comes to the investigative report into what exactly happened, government should make that public. There was a response to that from the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, who said that the committee's report has since been forwarded to the presidency and it will be acted, and it's only then that details of that will be made public. And so the House is still continuing sitting, considering some loans that have been brought to them for approval.
Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, parliamentary correspondent. Now, police in Efujase in the Ashanti region have launched a search for 2 armed men who stabbed to death a final year business student of the Efujase Senior High School. 18-year-old Derek Eje died few hours after being rushed to the Efujase Government Hospital's emergency unit after 2 armed men stabbed him in the neck on Wednesday evening. Police say the deceased, in the company of a friend, had scaled the school's fence wall to watch a football match outside campus when the attack happened. His friend Douglas Obing, 17, has since given a statement to the police. Superintendent Asari Bediako is the Efujase District Commander.
Yesterday around 7:30 p.m. we received a complaint at the charge office that a student by name Derek Ajay has been stabbed, and he's aged 18 years. According to them, Derek and the mate, they are both business students and they are in the final year. The mate by name Obing Douglas, he's about 17 years. After close of school, they scaled the wall to go out to watch a football match. That was around 6:30 p.m. Once going, they were attacked by 2 men. The 2 demanded for their mobile phones and cash. Obing had just 2 cedis on him. They took the 2 cedis, but the deceased, Derek, had a mobile phone and money, but he refused to give the money and the mobile phone out. So he struggled. They attacked him and he struggled with them. And whilst resisting, one of them brought out an implement and stabbed him. Douglas, sensing danger, bolted. That instead of going back to the school, he rather went to town and watched the football match. Then the deceased, he didn't die on the spot. So he scaled back to the school compound, but couldn't walk to the dormitory. And he fell behind one of the boys' dormitories. So one of the students by name Nanaya was going to take his bath. When he found him, he raised an alarm, and most students came, assisted him, and they took him to the housemaster. Then the housemaster also took him to the hospital, but he was pronounced dead at the emergency. We are trying our best. He said he can identify the assailants, so we're trying our best to get them arrested. So far, we haven't been able to arrest anybody.
Superintendent Asare Bediako, the Fidrasi District Police Commander, my colleague Ohiming Teria, has been following that story and joins us on the line. Ohiming, you've been to the school, rather sad situation, but what's the mood amongst the students' body?
Thank you, MFA. The mood here at the Fidrasi Senior High School is as usual because students are still in the classrooms as classes are ongoing. Unfortunately, I tried to get some students to speak to, but they wouldn't want to comment on the issue because they were in a rush to return to the classroom. But a headmaster and other school teachers have also left campus to meet the parents of the deceased.
Ohiming Teria there joining us from Ifijase with the latest. Now, Ghana was thrown into chaos 36 years ago when 3 Supreme Court justices and a retired army officer were picked up and killed in the dead of the night. Justices Kwejo Ejeyejepong, Pokusa Kodie and Mrs. Cecilia Krantingado and the retired major in the Ghana Armed Forces were shot and killed during a curfew imposed by the AFRC. Here's leader of the AFRC, Chairman Rawlings, talking about the one he believes led the execution.
Martekwe did what I thought was most ignoble. I'd known Martekwe as a very disciplined person, as a person who was not a liar, not a thief, a man who commanded a lot of respect, a very dedicated person. And for him to have been engaged in the misuse of soldiers to do what he did when we came into office.
Sir, with respect, if I could draw you back.
Don't. I'm building it up.
So that's excerpts of the Joy News special assignment. It's set to be released. It's a series of documentaries on crimes that shook the nation. The first part of the documentary film titled Who Killed the Judges is set to be released on the 2nd of October. But why Who Killed the Judges? Joining me in the studio for some explanation is the producer, Raymond Akwa. We are privileged to have him join us in the studio. I'm curious, why Who Killed the Judges?
So let me put it this way. We watched the history of the Holocaust. We talked about the Rwandan genocide. I'm sure you know many have asked, what purpose does it serve? I'm sure many of us have also watched Sarafina and through that and other accounts learned about the apartheid in South Africa. The question again is, what purpose does it serve? I'll tell you. So you're not
that's the question.
So you're not ignorant of the past and perhaps one of the most important episodes in Ghana's history. Now, the abduction and killing of the judges happened some 36 years ago. This means that the chunk of our population were either not born or were too young to fully appreciate and understand what really happened. So we can learn from that, so we can know and put in the right perspective. That is why this is the most important story you should do, to recap history. You don't leave it to external institutions and also some other groupings like media institutions outside Ghana to come do it, repackage your history and put it back to you in a much more distorted form. So this is why it is very necessary to understand and appreciate. And again, this is just one of the important titles on crimes that shook the nation. This is one of them. The others will be following up pretty soon.
Now I'm curious to watch Who Killed the Judges. What should I expect in this documentary?
So you should expect an almost 2-year deep and intensive research coupled with exclusive and revealing detail in just the particular section. Now, perhaps you should know, this is the most comprehensive account of what has really happened from all of the perspectives and the most important points. So that after watching this, you go out understanding what really happened, the people involved. You would get the lessons that ought to be learned from such episodes in our history. So we don't in any way and can conclusively say never again.
2nd October, which platforms of the multimedia platforms should we be able to watch this?
So right here on Joy FM, on Joy News, on Adum TV, on Adum FM, and all of our platforms, My Joy Online, our Facebook networks, virtually every other outlet that we use on this network.
And it certainly will be on social media platforms as well.
Yes, it will be on social media platforms, 8:30 p.m.
Well, Raymond Dakwa is the producer, so you can expect nothing but the best. And it's Who Killed the Judges. You do really want to tune in and watch that on all multimedia platforms. It's still the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. And later, it's still to come in this bulletin, South Africa to waive visas for Ghanaian travelers to that country soon.
People from Ghana, from Morocco, from Egypt, we are having negotiations with their countries for reciprocal visa exemptions. Once those have been finalized, we will sign the agreements.
We'll hear from the SA Home Affairs Minister, who is, however, warning it won't be free entry for the entire year. We're right back after the break.
With MTN Protect, this is my story.
All these downloads, and I still have so much memory thanks to the cloud backup.
Oh, wow. Thanks to the anti-theft feature, I can track and lock my phone even when it goes missing.
What's your story? Make the right decision by securing information on your mobile phone with MTN Protect. Text SD to 1359 and experience real security solutions like cloud backup, antivirus, anti-theft, and a lot more everywhere you go.
FPAC is effective for headaches and relieves the symptoms of flu, colds, and catarrh. FPAC blows away the pain associated with sore throats. During and after a hard day's work, FPAC relieves you of body pains. After the day's sports workout, FPAC helps the body to control the aching muscles. FPAC is effective against feverishness. FPAC reduces body temperature associated with malaria and other fevers. FPAC is effective against rheumatic pains. You can find FPAC in all pharmacy and chemical select shops throughout the country. FPAC is not recommended for children less than 16 years of age, ulcer and asthmatic patients, pregnant and lactating mothers. If symptoms persist for more than 2 days, consult your doctor. FPAC blows your pain away.
FPAC Junior follows in the tradition of FPAC tablets, a trusted friend to relieve your child of pain associated with teething, catarrh, cold, and fever. The good that FPAC does for you, FPAC Junior does for your child. FPAC Junior is for children between 6 months and 12 years. FPAC Junior blows your child's pain away.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Time now for the latest from the world of sports. Read one.
You know, I've been struggling to find your Christian name. I missed it.
I thought you knew it.
I knew it, but you know, I'm growing old.
What's in sports?
You know, CAF is unimpressed with Ghana's preparations for the 2018 Africa Women's Cup of Nations, and there are concerns that the country could be stripped of the hosting rights. Now, that decision will be taken after its 2-day extraordinary General Assembly, which has already started today in the Egyptian city of Sharm el-Sheikh. Now, CAF's General Secretary, Tony Bafo, sounded unhappy with the work being done by the local organizing committee.
I'm going to be also very blunt with you that they are behind and they need to speed up. For the moment, I said now it is Ghana, but I also said that they are behind and they need to speed up.
You heard CAF's General Secretary Tony Bafo there for you. We're monitoring events, and then we'll see how it all pan out when CAF finally decides on our fate.
Thank you very much, Redwan. Now, from potable water and educational struggles of the Volta region village of Mangoseeda, the chief there is also their midwife. There's no health center in the village, and deliveries are made on the floor, bathrooms and bedrooms. But there's good news. 5.5 years after Joy News told the story, as a lecturer at the Ho Technical University has mobilized his friends to build a delivery center for the community. Gifty Andopia reports.
I am a chief and deliver babies. I can do what the nurses and the midwives do.
One of the women he has delivered of 4 children is Maufomo Legudo.
This is Maufomo in December 2013 in labor on a bathroom floor as Togbigbo Moses, her chief, prepared her for delivery with some concoctions. She labors through midday and delivers at midnight at the bare hands of the village's favorite midwife.
He uses a random piece of razor to cut off the umbilical cord. Life without potable water, standard formal education and healthcare has just started for this baby boy, just like all the others who live in this village.
Maupamo's baby is now a proud 5.5-year-old. He even has younger siblings. Togbigbo Moses has been their midwife since the 1980s, with over 100 babies delivered through him. He told me he has had some training from nurses in a nearby community.
None of those children has died. I do not have gloves and I don't even have disinfectants. But I really need them for the deliveries.
On my return, 5.5 years on, a lot more children have been born, and I spot at least 3 more pregnancies.
Nothing has changed since you came here. We still don't have gloves and disinfectants.
A lecturer at the Whole Technical University, Dr. Divine Novieto, has been mobilizing a group which intends to donate a delivery center for the women here. Meanwhile, Maupamo and the other women are waiting in anticipation of the birthing suit promised by a philanthropist, sometimes even oblivious of the responsibility government should have towards them. The project has taken off.
This is the backside of the building, and from the recovery room we moved to the veranda.
But a lot more help is required.
I am Maupomo Lugudo. I delivered my children in the bathroom and in the bedroom. There is no befitting delivery center here. We are appealing to authorities to come to our aid.
Gifty Ando Apia, Joy News, Mangoseeda.
Let's stay in Mangoseeda because residents should have a supply of clean water by Monday. That's a promise by the District Chief Executive David Dixon Jokwe, following a Joy News story revealing the residents rely on a polluted pond for water. And Mr. Jokwe says a vehicle to deliver water to the people will soon be ready. He spoke on the Super Morning Show today.
We just took the tanker out of the workshop just 2 days ago. We're preparing to start giving them water at a very reduced rate. But initially, we advised them to stop this very bad gutter water they are using and walk at least 20 yards or thereof to the nearest village, which is Agotime Akwete, or even come nearer to Petue where they can get clean water.
Okay.
They should start doing that until we get the boreholes that we are preparing for them.
But when is this tanker going to be released? When will they start getting the clean water from the tanker?
That should be Monday.
Monday, that's in the next 3 days.
Yeah, today is Thursday. By Monday, the delivery of the water will start.
That's the DC for the area, Mr. Jokwe. Now, Ghana boasts of several tourist sites where visitors troop annually to feast their eyes on nature's beauty. One of the popular sites is the Crocodile Pond at Paga in the Upper East region. But did you know the country boasts of another crocodile site located at Adafo in the Greater Accra region? Well, as World Tourism Day is celebrated globally today, my colleague Mapitso Sabidi visited a crocodile island and has come through with his report.
Cry crocodile tears. I'm sure you've heard that expression before, but did you know it's based on a true fact that crocodiles produce tears when they eat because they swallow too much air, which gets in touch with the glands that produce the tears, forcing them to cry. We have arrived at Crocodile Island.
So actually, this is the Crocodile Island. Yes. So we are.
So can't wait to see the crocodiles. Okay, don't. You must hold it. You're holding it, right? Okay, don't leave it.
No, it will not do anything.
Okay, and then after that, what do I do?
The left hand, bring your left hand.
Are you scared?
Don't be scared.
Okay, I'm holding a baby crocodile. Okay, this is lovely. Okay, I think, your crocodile is breathing heavy. Don't worry, the baby crocodile survived. So did I. I guess we can say we both had an amazing experience. Fun fact, most crocodiles live 50 to 60 years in the wild. Some crocodiles can live more than 80 years. I could say you have enough time to see and hold a baby crocodile. For Joy News, I am Mapitso CBD.
She'll join us later with what's trending on social media. But let's head to her country, because barring any hitches, Ghanaians seeking to visit South Africa will be allowed to enter that country without a visa. The Southern African country is hoping the move will boost tourism in the country. South Africa's Minister of Home Affairs, Malisu Gigaba, who disclosed this, said his government is finalizing a number of visa waiver agreements with countries including Ghana, but warned it won't be free entry for the entire year.
People from Ghana, from Morocco, from Egypt, from Cuba, Western Sahara, from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, all of those countries must not think that the visa exemptions already immediately apply. We are having negotiations with their countries for reciprocal visa exemptions. Once those have been finalized, we will sign the agreements off and announce the dates for implementation.
South Africa's Minister of Home Affairs, Malusi Gigaba, there. And
Sabona MFA.
Oh, okay.
Unjani MFA.
It's okay. What's trending on social media? Tell us about the crocodiles later, but what's trending?
Hashtag World Tourism Day is trending, and at TK Month 73 says, spend today reminiscing about places you've been and the places you have yet to see. Travel broadens the mind and improves empathy. So, MFA, World Tourism Day, where are we going?
You've toured Ghana, so you need to take me to South Africa. Oh, it's a deal, isn't it?
Especially with the visa agreement, we are going.
Yes, we have to. And that's it for the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Do enjoy the rest of the day.